Hello, NeXT community. How's everybody doing this evening? So I had a customer. I sold them one of the SCSI2SD cards a few years back. In fact, I sold hundreds of them, and they were from Mike McMaster. And what they did is we no longer have to listen or deal with 30-year-old SCSI hard drives, and they were replaced by what's called a SCSI2SD. It's a little PCB board, and it uses an SD flash RAM card disk. It's pretty neat. And so these are the older versions, and you had to do a lot of manual configuration as well as use the DD command to make what's called a master ISO of all of your files and directories, and then use command line Unix to make copies. I'm just going to go over the cursory way of how it worked. I feel like I no longer need to go into detail because all those cards are out there. I set up all the behind the scenes stuff and it just works. And I occasionally hear from a customer. I've done it myself where they hadn't made a backup, and then there's something that happens during the boot process. Maybe there's a glitch in the matrix, a power short or something happens. Oftentimes what will happen is if it goes into check disk, sometimes you have to wait about 30 minutes for it to go through all the different partitions until it gets to a boot screen. Had this happen with a customer the other day. He called me up and I said, just be patient, step back from the computer, go do other stuff and come back in a half hour. Sure enough, he came back. He's like, I got a login screen. I was like, yep. And I think that, it happens, because we're just, we want everything done now. And these computers in the past, were not as fast as the ones today, okay? And the way that I'm setting them up, too, is to emulate 6 hard drives. I'm really pushing the envelope of this technology. So it takes them a while sometimes to boot up, but once they are logged in and everything is caught up, the NeXT is amazing. It's smart enough to understand all this and understand that it's dealing with 6 hard drives. The reason I did that instead of one big partition is NeXT doesn't understand anything over 2 gigabyte. You can install, it'll run, the first crash, everything goes haywire. So at least with the SCSI2SDs, when I set up the 6 drives, if one of them crashes, it'll still continue to boot and work, unless it's the main master 2 gig. Then you'll have to do a fresh install. And so in this case, it's hanging at boot. And I'm gathering it's, was not fast enough at one point or something else affected it. Hard shutdown, goes back through. It's going to run that check disk, hangs or appears to hang, shut down, pull the plug, freak out. So at any rate, no, we didn't make a backup. And so this video needs to be made, okay? And fortunately, with the new Zulu SCSI cards, Alex over at Rabbit Hole and his team of developers came up with something really cool where we don't have to go into the underpinnings. There are a few drawbacks, like you can't go in and customize as much as you were able to do beforehand, but most people don't worry about that. They just want the stuff to work, plug in and go. And that's where I come in. I've come up with different ways to make, the hardware, the coding work. And I didn't do it alone by any means. Thank you, Mike McMaster. So this is the original. So in this case, I'm going to take a look. He's got a version 5.1 card. And of course, my 5.2 card, because I'm doing a demo, all of a sudden doesn't work. I had sent him my spare shop card with it all configured so he could just work and send me the old one back here. So we're in a pickle on that part. But basically what you would do is you go to the App Store. There's a little SCSI2 Utility. Then you go to the Code SRC website. You grab the firmware. I don't need to show all that, okay? For my sanity, I have so many things on deck. I just thought I'd bring up this. Here's the SCSI2 Utility, and it shows that you can set your 2 gig partitions here. I've got a custom one we could have imported. Had my 5.2 card that I use here worked, but it's a live demo, so it doesn't work. I've got some 6.0 cards that I can do this on, but unless somebody really needs me to do it, we're just going to let that stuff fade into the past because the future Zulu SCSI. But in the interim, for those caught in the pickle that did not do a backup, I'm going to cover that because I think this video will help, because there are thousands of these cards out there, tens of thousands on other platforms. And this is how you do the DD command for those of you that aren't Unix gurus and have no idea what I'm talking about. I'll kind of go through step by step. So first of all, we do not need to use the utility, okay? So to alleviate some confusion here, I'm going to go over and shut off SCSI2 Utility. Gone. This was the example of the ASCII firmware BIOS. You don't need to worry about that. I'm going to shut that down. Boom, gone. I was going to do the whole 9 yards, but since it wasn't cooperating, I'm just going to eliminate that whole part, and it's going to make a nice demo of the stuff, the roots we need to get at. So, I was showing it downloading here to my download files, the CYA CD, and you had to save it as ASCII text, not .txt. We're going to shut that down. I tell you what, I'm just going to minimize that because I may need to come back to downloads. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So we're going to just minimize that one. Okay, so here you are, right? And so for starters, what I'm going to do, he wants to make a copy of the master ISO I just sent him on an SD card to his drive. But what I'm going to do is go the other way around. It's the same commands in reverse, and show you how to write from my master ISO image, which I can share on Dropbox should you run into this problem. And then you can use these commands to create a new pristine SD card with the proper footprints that will match the footprints on my custom SCSI2SD, the BIOS, and the SCSI2SD Utility. So you have 2 gig there and 2 gig partitions here, and it all just matches up, if that makes sense. We got the socks, the shoes fitting the feet perfectly. That's basically what I'm talking about. Okay, so first of all, you've got your handy dandy new, I use SanDisk Extreme Pro 32 gig cards. For 32 gig and under, the first thing you're going to do on a Macintosh is find your disk utility app. You'll see my little arrow key over here on the right of the screen. If all goes well, you click it, and it's going to pop open our disk utility, which says disk utility up here. Okay, so if I cancel, I'm going to cancel this to show you how to bring it up. So then you go over and you find, hey, there is our generic flash media. You can tell it's the right one. It's going to say the capacity. In this case, it's 32 gig. You can assume if it's 31.91, that's the one we're looking for. And in this case down here, it's going to say disk 4. That's important. We know that we're going to copy to disk 4. So, where do we go from here? We're first going to want to format it because it comes in as different formatting than what we need to do to have DD handshake with it. DD is disk duplicate command. So you'll go up here in disk utility and you'll see erase. Click that. Pops open this panel. Now, for whatever reason, I go through and I do Mac OS Extended Master Boot Record. I erase that first. I don't know why I call it superstition. It just seems to work for me. And wham, it should finish with any luck, unless it's just the way my day is going. Great, erase process complete. So that means it's now formatted. Then I'm going to go back up here again. Sorry, apologies for my voice. I have laryngitis. I've been talking a lot, and I have some kind of unique this year's virus thing going on. So we go back to erase. Now you'll see on your toggle here, you have several choices. If your SD card is 64 gigabyte, 128, use exFAT. For 32 gig and under, MS-DOS FAT is the one that you want to format it for. Okay, so you're going to do the erase deal again. Click erase. It's going to go back through. It should be quick. There we go, and bam, it is complete. So now you've created, you've got the right set of shoes. Let me put it that way. Done. Click done. Okay. So now we're going to have to dismount this sucker in order for DD to work. And I created a handy little step-by-step instruction sheet, okay, over here on the left. So you guys can actually use that. And we're going to open the little terminal application, which is over here. I have it on my dock. And it'll say terminal app in a normal world where things work. Why it's not on my dock? Oh, there it is, all the way at the top. Okay. It'll say terminal. It's probably in your application's utilities. You launch it, and you get something like this. So Rob Blessed is my main directory. And what you can do through the magic of cut and paste, if you have my directions over here. I haven't tried this, but I'm assuming it may work. If not, I'm going to look like an idiot again. So this is the little command that we want to run, except it's going to be disk 4. So I'm going to go copy and paste. Let's see if this works. If it works, I'm cool. And then write in a 4. And with any luck, it is going to unmount our disk. Okay, so that's successful. Yay! And the fans go wild. All 4 of them out there. Okay, so in our case, we're going to use this sudo, which means super user root, okay, dev. And we are going to want to copy this first part because I'm going from my hard drive to the SD card. So I'm going to copy this first part. Let's see here. Sudo ddf. I am just going to type it in for my sanity. Sudo space dd space. Is that right? If equals, and I'm hoping like half the keys don't register sometimes on my keyboard. I've been using it so much. Okay, so there we go. Sudo ddif. Then I'm going to go back to my main directory. All right. And I have the master ISO located here. So in this case, I call it the master 16, blah, blah, blah. You can drag and drop this, okay, into terminal. So you don't have to type all that in, right? Now, where's it going to go to? We want it to go to the disk 4, okay? So we go back over here to DDF to of. So we're going to go of. So it's like in and out. So of equals, and then you go / dev. I like to do a / R disk for. If this works, I'm going to be amazed. R disk 4, and I believe that's all you're going to have to do. Then a space, and then you want to give it the block size. So it's BS for block size equals 512B. I just do that out of habit. Some people do a megabit. When you press it, it's going to ask if you have root protection set up for your root password. And let's see if I can remember this. All right. It's probably wrong password. Let's see if it works. Ready, read-only file system. Come on. Wait a second. Dev disk 4. What did I do wrong? Did I forget to put a parentheses? Well, we'll try that again. Because it splits it right there. So there's this. Copy. Yeah, I forgot to put brackets. Because, the way these demos go, let me stretch this just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So we need to make sure there's a / dev / R disk 4, which speeds things up a little bit. Space, and then block size BS equals 512B. By me making those syntax errors, it shows you what happens as well. Almost like I planned it. Okay, and I already entered the password, so this time it didn't ask me. Now, what's happening now is the turtles are going to go run their magic, right? And so it'll take probably, I don't know, roughly 10 minutes. And then what you'll do once you have a pristine, master ISO on your SD card now, you can take it over with your version 5.2 or 5.1 SCSI card, put it in and boot it up. And if it has my master, matching footprint, it'll boot. So it's as simple as that. And that is copying the master image from the hard drive to the SD card. And so to make a backup, you're basically going to inverse the steps, all right? So I'm going to let this thing run its course, and once it completes, I will make number 2 of the video, how to make a backup from your SD card back to the hard drive. All right, hopefully that made sense. And you can kind of look, let me make sure you can see everything on my cheat sheet here. This explains how to do it. Those are all the commands. And then over here on the left, if you see my example, okay, here it is. You press the enter. It'll take a while. And then when it kicks out something like this, 121,746 plus 0 records in, and it matches records out, then it's going to give you the total here. This is left lower corner. Hopefully it's recording the whole screen. It'll show you how many bytes were transferred. So it's making a clone. How many seconds it takes. And great, then you have your master, right? In this case, we've written a master to the SD card. Then you'll want to make sure and click eject from the disk utility app. If you don't, it's not going to close it out properly and it won't boot. It'll say bad label. So once you do that and eject it, you can take it and it will boot up your NeXT computer. So in the next video, as I say, I will show you how to take the image we have just written and make a backup of it to your hard drive, which can come in useful if the image that you've just made is corrupted on your actual NeXT computer. You know, maybe the dogs and cats are fighting and run through the scene and, you know, knock the power out or lightning strikes or something. And you like, oh no, all my stuff. Well, you can do this as a way to back it up pretty easily. And it used to take literally a month or 2 months to reinstall something this complicated. Why would it take that long? Well, I've got 6 2-gigabyte hard drives that I've installed NeXTSTEP or OpenStep user developer, the Y2K patches on, along with all the other patches, and hundreds of NeXT third-party applications that, because we had limited space, most of them were compressed, okay? And when they were compressed, there was no way to, have them open. But now I can go through, and with those 2 gig partitions, I load them up with lots of fun stuff. How fun is it? Well, I'm hoping this thing's still recording, and I hope that I've got previous where I can launch that baby. Let's see if this is it. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's see if we can set this up. I might have enough screen space to do this. I'm going to do Control-Alt-M to release it for a second. Of course, it's going to mess with me. So there was something about, Control-Click Mouse. This is, I think, the new way to do it. Control-Click Release. Oh, wait, now I managed to grab Equation Builder. Oh, God. All right. Control-Click, bam. Let's see. Click mouse. Control-Click. Am I pressing Control-Click? All right. Oh, man. I tell you. Hey, there it goes. So we jumped outside. And I want to put this, what I'm getting at is I'm going to try and put this over while we're messing with this other stuff to see if it'll pop up while I'm talking away. Because I can maybe just make this one long, miserable video for you guys. Because I could show off maybe the big green CD. Some stuff on there I found. So this one's kind of cool. It's called Hyper Up. And you can basically make your own elements from what I gather. There was all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Is this that one? Or is this different frequency? There was one that would, yeah, you can do different frequencies on this particular one. But I found a bunch of DSP stuff, which I thought was neat because we have the new DSP expansion chip now from Umberto. And so these kind of apps would use it. So this one I think is called the Camia app. And Camia lets you do interesting stuff. I'm not sure what the Mendeleev thing. Okay, yeah, so you can figure out, this is kind of cool if you're learning your periodic table elements. So you can type in different factors over here. Your atomic weight, number, volume, mass, boiling point, and do a search, right? And then it brings up, this is kind of cool, all the different, periodic table elements that match those criteria that you've just set. So a simple application if you're testing your chemistry, so neat stuff. Let's see what else we found in here that I think was kind of fun. As I've been doing these compilation CD things. And Big Green has some neat stuff. I believe the developer, her name was Night Train, I want to say. And I bought her stuff, and she had all the Big Green CDs. And so we got permission to release these freeware shareware to everybody. A lot of it was freeware shareware to begin with. We've got, let's just take a look. Doom, okay. Well, we know we can play Doom. Well, I haven't seen the crossword app before. I guess we could try that one. But I think you guys are beyond crossword. There's artificial intelligence. I'm not even sure what this is. Let's launch that thing. Human input window. Input sentence here. Oh boy. One of these days, I think I'm going to disappear. Okay, what is going on? Let's try Next Computers Rock. What does this do? Input. Still initializing. Please wait. Make sure and read me file before using me. Okay. Maybe it needs to be. Is it initializing, or is it just because it's on the drive? Maybe I need to drag this over to. Let's quit this real quick and actually copy it over to the hard drive. I'm going to revisit that one. So we'll go over to local apps, and it copies it from my ISO over to local apps. Let's find some stuff. I found something that will help you guys sleep. I know there's a few of you I've talked to that are like me, having difficulty sleeping. And I found the ultimate NeXT application. Welcome to Surf. There we go. With any luck, is it going to work? Or we may need it. Of course, nothing's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and close. I think I need to just go to local. Let's see if I go to local apps. This is the way my day goes. And we're going to go down to Surf. Do I have Surf down here? Please tell me I have Surf. Okay, let's go back to Big Green. And again, I need to be patient. Apps. And, while we're messing around here, we still have the copying going on in the background. So there is kind of a multitask thing. And I really want to show Surf, so we're going to drag Surf over to local apps. Already exists. Okay, well, let's... I swear I had looked for it. Where was it? Was it under audio, maybe? Is that where it put it? No. Let's go down to Surf. Did I just not see it? Okay, there it is now. Really? Come on. I swear. Shall do? Is that all? Open or new? Oh. Man. Why would it work? Come on. Alright. Oh boy. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just let it go and see. Maybe it'll, like other things, it'll all of a sudden start working. Go back to apps. Let's see if I can get anything to work here. How about astroloids? There we go. I'm not sure if I need to bring this over to local apps, or if I can launch these from the CD, if it's going to make a difference because it's a virtual ISO. Well, it's loading stuff, so maybe I'll just be patient and let that go. I'm wondering if my sound is somehow muted. That would be brilliant. Let me go up here to preferences. Okay, and where is sound? And it is not muted, but the volume's down. Ah, the volume was down. Okay. So you can hear there is surf. So you can actually use your NeXT computer to relax, right? You got the sound of the waves coming in. I'm not a complete moron. Close. Okay, and we got asteroids. So now we might as well go do battle at sea. Let's see if we can start a new game. We might as well get info on how to do it. So let's try the help section. So we have some idea on control. Hey, that's kind of cool. I like that. Making me kind of drift off. And the graphics consistent of a hand-drawn ship. Okay. Control section. There we go. ZX. Thrust and fire and spacebar. Okay. Alright. I think I can handle that. ZX, those two. Left fire, spacebar is hyperspace. Might as well let her rip, Tater Chip. I should probably shut off the surf, though, because that's probably eating up some cycles. And to do that, we need to find it. I believe it's probably just click it. Close. There we go. Okay, so no more Lost at Sea adventures. And let's start asteroids, and meanwhile our copy's still going in the background. New game. Oh boy. Alright. I can see I'm set on expert level or something. Yeah, I'm toast. Okay. Oh, come on, man. Hey, this is better than asteroids. I think I just died. Alright. Wait.
He's dead, Jim. Oh, that's impossible.
I'm a high score, though. Try and beat that. All right, let's see what else is on here while we're waiting for our thing to copy. Balling. I know that was kind of like a pyramid of balls. Let's go. Concentration, what I don't have. Let's see what the crossword thing is. Hey, this might be kind of fun. Do they actually have crosswords on here or what? We had a crossword app. Is this something that we just, what is it? Again, you know, I'm assuming either make crosswords or solve them. I just want stuff that works out of the gate. What is the, we've done culture shock, desktop invasion. All right. Hey, look at this. How do I fire? Okay. Uh-oh. We're going to get killed by Macintoshes. And how do I fire? I was firing before. There we go. Ah! Oh, boy. And this is like it's emulating a CD. So if I copied it over to... God. Doggone it. Oh, well. Yeah, my game is lame right now. Hey, if I could clear a level. I'm still copied on the left side. You know that there are actually like entire YouTube channels devoted to people that find glitches in games now. And sit there and try and set the high score for stuff, and it like becomes a big thing, right? What's that mean? Level completed, hey! And a lot of these were written by, just one person with an idea. And so I now probably own the world record of this thing. It stood for 35 years, but he's the first guy to find the app. Hey, kill the floppy. All right, yeah, get it. Come on, man. Boom. Go. You can't remember how to fire. Oh, no. I think I'm toast. Dang it. Okay. Well, that's desktop invasion. Guess we're invaded by Macintoshes. That has potential. I'm going to play that one again for sure. Then we have Doom. Now, what's interesting about this is this was the first 3D gaming engine that is still used today that was invented on NeXT. Oh boy. And I forget how to play. You kind of just go through and you're zapping these guys. It's pretty fun. So you get the idea. And what's neat about it is a lot of people got their start on programming video games by programming levels in Doom. So all the source code's been released free, and you can design your own levels. It's really neat, and sprites, and publish them and play them. There's still a pretty good, Doom community out there. And a lot of people are like, they ported Doom to all kinds of things. They like John Deere tractors. And people ask, can you play Doom on it? So, and Doom was invented on NeXT. And actually, John Carmack and John Romero are actually customers from way back. And I think I might even have John Romero's NeXTs around here somewhere. So, pretty neat stuff, and they just celebrated the 30th anniversary of Doom recently. So, shout out to those guys. I mean, so much fun stuff was started on NeXT. Oh, God, Billy Grammar. I don't even... What is that? No. Apparently you can type stuff in, and then it's going to analyze it. So this is like, Doom fighting grammar. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. Let's see what other kind of neat stuff we can rummage through. So all these compilation CDs had different software. I'm really hoping the thing on the left or the right is going to finish copying so I can continue the real reason for this. And this little YouTube video and show you the rest of it. But if it doesn't improve, then or complete, then I'll make a second video. But, okay, so here's lasers. Let's see what lasers is about. That's probably how to build your own lightsaber. Version 1 rate equation model for a stage 4 laser. And, this stuff actually works, man. So they're telling you, hey, you can actually build a laser, right? Here's the laser actions is a rate equation model, so it would show you the effective laser. So those of you out there, inventing time machines and such, this is the software for you. Like Professor Mallet, yeah, he's got the time twister going. We're bending lasers. He figures he can send messages back and forth by bending laser lights to cause a twist in time. And he's a pretty interesting character. You can Google it. He's actually building a real time machine. Okay, so, the debt watch. Let's see what that has to say. Well, at this time, it was only 8 trillion. Now I think we're up to 35. So we were doing fairly good back then. It was, kind of manageable. Idiom finder. It's probably going to point at me if it's like an idiot. All right, so let's type in something. How about trouble? We'll type in trouble. Let's see what happens. Double trouble. Well, find verb. I don't know. What am I doing here? Past tense alert. Text not found. Okay. So, okay, let's try double trouble. Double trouble. Let's see what it does. Find verb. Text not found. Find idiom. Text not found. But it did bring up something over here. Oh. Hey. So it does multiple languages. This might be a way for me to learn Spanish, French, and German. Wait a second. That might be kind of cool. Let's do that. Let's try... So, past tense. Interesting. Okay. So I type in begin. Always finding cool stuff. Okay. Find verb. Okay, there we go. Find idiom. Well, I guess it found, more like it should say find idiot. It could point at me. Let's see, what's lingwhat? Lingwhat? I think bombed. It just bombed, didn't it? That might be because it's for an earlier version of NeXT. NeXT Show app. Romaji. Hey! So if we look back over, Control-Alt-M. So, I'm not completely useless. Let me try an escape from here. It was a command click. Control click. Control click. Control-Alt-M used to do it. Right? Control click. Hold. Come on, man. There we go. So I've escaped. But what I was getting at is, as you can see over here, we have now made a copy, and you can tell because the records match, right? And if we look down here, okay, you can see I did it successfully because it does match the footprint over here that we set up. And it's actually within a few seconds, so we know that's good, right? And so now, if we want to write it back, It's at least somewhat entertaining. Okay, so we want to write it. Let's see, we've written it to the card. Now we want to make a backup. So we're going to go ahead and reverse the steps. So the first thing we're going to want to do is, I believe, we've got that in there. It's going to say something like, let's go ahead and eject it first. So we'll show you how that works. So disk utility is going to pop up. We're going to click eject. Okay, you'll see it disappear. So we take the card, we go boot, and we managed to screw it up because we were playing asteroids and pulled the plug. So we fortunately can make a backup. So we go back over, pop the card in. It's going to say this panel was not readable. Okay. Ignore. Because we are smart enough, we're going to ignore that. And what we're going to want to do is make a copy. We're now doing a backup before we screw up anything. We're on top of it. Okay. So we're going to go from the SD card to the hard drive. If that makes sense. So you'll see that it is mounted, but it doesn't recognize it. That's fine. We've ignored it. Launch our terminal app. And as you can see from here, it's going to list our former commands, right? And so it says disk utility unmount. We're going to want to run that command. Unmount. Copy. Paste. Okay. Press enter. And it'll say it's successful. Now, in order to copy from our SD to the drive, we're going to do if. Well, first, nope, you got to do sudo space dd for disk duplicate, sudos to get to root, if equals, and this is where it's interesting, you can do /dev /rdisk4, okay, of, and then we're going to give it where we want it to go. In this case, it's going to be of equals. Oops, let's do the equal sign first. Watch your syntax. Without syntax correct, you're going to get errors. Of equals, and then we're going to do this, right? So I can actually copy this. Copy. Paste. Remember to put a space. Then you're going to want to do the block size. Very important, so it knows the formatting. So do BS, make sure you've got this right, equals 512B. Check your syntax. Sudo dd if equals this is from your SD card that you just mounted there. You're making a backup of disk 4 to your hard drive of equals, and wherever you want to put it, whatever you want to name it, okay? So you're probably going to have a top-level directory. This works for Mac. Press enter. It's going to ask you for your password. If you have a password set for your root account, and press enter. Now it is taking it from the SD card and writing to your hard drive. It will write over, if you have the same file name, it's going to write over it. I'm fine with that. Um, you can rename it so that, as you go along and you created a bunch of work you want to keep, this way you've got a pristine image of everything. You've installed more apps. And I would do this, I mean, it doesn't take much to do it after, a couple sessions with your Next. If you're going to be powering it on and off, it's always good to have a backup. And so, that being said, um, everybody have a great evening, and we're just going to let it do its thing. I hope that was entertaining and it wasn't too crazy, but I was able to get all the way through it. And I think we're recording. Hopefully, the sound level was acceptable. And stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. All right, now if I can remember how to shut this off, I think the screen recording will work. I'll get better at it. And I'll do an example of how to do previous, which people have been asking about as well. But this is one that was been on my plate. I'll show how Zulu works as well. And that way, I can just say, hey, I've got a video, because I am just incredibly busy these days. It's great. I appreciate everybody's business and patience. And by putting these videos out there, it's helping people. And that's what I like to do. So keep these good old Next running and grow in the Next community. Feel free to like and subscribe or unsubscribe and dislike. I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter. I'm trying. Apologies about my voice. I've been talking a lot. Positivity. And hey, I'm doing this on a Sunday night. I worked through the weekend, but I'm getting caught up. And I've got a lot of orders that came in. So lots of fun stuff to come out, coming down the pike. And stay tuned, as I say. Have a good evening.